What up, nerds? It's Jason here from Custom Cans, and this week I've got a nice new box from Polar Audio. Don't know if you know, but Polar Audio, Beyerdynamic's UK distributor. So we get most of our Beyerdynamic headphones direct from them, then we know they're legit. And we have, finally, the DT1770 MKii. So it'll be interesting to have a look and see what changes they made in the Mark II, because I've seen some other people open it up and it looks like quite a big update. So let's get these bad boys open. Let's see what's inside. This is going to be a two-part video, so we're going to take a look at the design, what they've changed, that kind of thing. Then we are going to do another video where we convert them to balanced. But we'll do that as two separate videos to stop it from being too long. And if you want to convert yours to balanced, that will save you having to watch all this rubbish. Alright, let's get these open. So, again, all cardboard packaging, which is good. And then we got actual nice case. It looks like they've updated the case slightly. God damn it, telephone. Hello, Custom Cans, Jason speaking. How can I help? Business. Okay, back to the thing. Okay. So it looks like they've updated the case. They've got like little feet built into the case, which is interesting. Stop the bottom from getting all scratched up. So, not seen that on a case. Probably quite an expensive case. We've looked at getting cases made, and they're surprisingly expensive. So these are the actual ones. Again, they come with two sets of pads for different tuning on there. I can see already they've got a different disc in there, which they will have been. So I think these have been retuned to get rid of more of the higher frequencies. So they've probably got a denser pad in front of the driver than the old ones used to have. In here you've got the two cables, straight and curly. Again with the orange twist ties on there, which is Beyerdynamic's accent colour at the moment. Let's get these down there. So these are the actual headphones. Yes. So what am I noticing anything? So they've notched the top there, which they've done on the limited edition DT770s and the new DT770 Pro X's, which have just come out. Yeah, they've got a notched top there, which should make it more comfortable. So it's like they do on some of the Sennheisers. So I know that the HD 600 series and 800 series have also got that notch in the top now. Yeah, it just makes it feel a little bit more comfortable on your head. There's some kind of ridge over your head, and if you press on it for too long, it gets uncomfortable. So that's one thing I'm noticing already. On the outside, yeah, it looks like they've changed the design of the ear cups ever so slightly. So now you've got a little concave area there with the logo in, whereas before it was it didn't have that. It was just printed on. It was just perfectly curved. So this kind of ties it in with their older models, because they often have a bar in the middle that's flat. So it's just kind of taking some design hints from that. So yeah, so it's a new fascia on the ear cup. The hinges look the same. Yeah, I think they're metal again, like they used to be. Yeah, that all looks pretty similar. Right, let's get these bad boys apart and see what's different and how they're made. Hey, I know a lot of you aren't subscribed and you're thinking like, I'm going to subscribe. I watched a few of these videos. I'm going to do it one day. Today's the day. Click the button, and let me just let you into a little secret. When you click that subscribe button, it goes all kind of sparkly, which will give you a small endorphin rush. So have some free endorphins on me. And back to the thing. I suspect a lot of it's going to be similar to the original 1770, but let's have a look. So I'm going to remove the pad and retaining ring. See, oh yeah, so you can get your finger underneath just to remove the pad, and they come with a separate set of pads which will have different tuning on them. So I suspect these leather ones are going to give you a little bit more bass and better isolation just because they're a solid pad. So that's how you remove the pads. To get them back on, they've got a little cutout here, and you hook that over and just twist, and that will get the pad back on. Right, let's remove the retaining ring underneath. So here we can see a definite difference. So we got this pad here. It's similar to the ones on the Pro X, which is that one. But you can see it's slightly different material. It's black. I don't know if it's just a colour or it's a different density. It does look slightly different, but it might just be the colour. and that's going to take out a lot of the higher frequencies, which is probably what's removing that Beyer peak a little bit. So we got that. Let's just get the drivers out. I've seen online that these are socketed like the Pro X, so you should just tap and that pops out. Oh yeah, different driver. Let's just get this ear cup off. So the inside of the ear cup is pretty similar to the original ones, but obviously they've had to use different mouldings so that they've got somewhere to put this socket, which that plugs into. And they've got a little standoff there to hold a little circuit board which will join the headband cable to the socket, but that looks pretty easy to solder. So these will be nice and easy to repair should you break a cable or anything like that. That's nice. You've got these 3 little standoffs here which press against this rubber ring, and that'll give it a little bit more control by just giving it a nice solid thing to push against. So it's pushing against the inside of the ear cup. Again, yeah, you've got nice little cable routing. You've got things moulded in that hold the cables that stop them from flapping around. The hinges themselves, they've got these little clips that come out, and then that comes out. Oh, and you've got a little, I think that's new. They've got a little Teflon washer there so it doesn't scrape away at the ear cup, so that's another little improvement that they've made. So they've got the same machined aluminium hinges, which are really nice, but now you've got a little Teflon washer that will make it move smoother and be slightly less rattly, which is nice. So that's how the hinges come off. The headband cable is held in with these little metal stakes, so they pop out, and then you can remove the headband cable. Obviously this is still soldered in, so I'm not going to take that off yet, but that would come out through there. So again, that's all easy to remove, nothing glued in place, it's all held in properly with proper fasteners and stuff. So all still built to be repairable, which is good. And this is made of ABS. Yeah, it looks like it's got glass fibre reinforcing in there, because you can see, yeah, scratchy bits in there. Yeah, so that's made of ABS plastic. The actual driver itself, this is kind of the interesting part. Now then, that does look a little bit different. Luckily I've got one of the older drivers here, so we can take a look at that. So you can see it's a new driver. The baffle on this one looks like the traditional DT1770 990 with the paper on both sides, whereas this looks more like a Pro X driver. So that's a Pro X driver. So you can see they've got the same baffle here with just the paper on one side. But these are, what are they, 30 ohms? Oh, because the old ones I think used to be 250 ohms, so these are going to be much easier to drive. They're actually a lower impedance than the Pro X, which are 48 ohms. So yeah, so these ones, I think these are 250 ohms, the old ones, I might be wrong. So that is interesting. So yeah, completely new driver, and let's have a look, get these out. So this was used for tuning on the older ones to restrict the airflow. On the new one, they've just got some tissue stuck to this hole in the back of the magnet rather than a separate piece over the top. You can see this has got a larger diameter magnet, and in my very unscientific test, it is a more powerful magnet. This one, pick driver up. This one doesn't pick driver up. Nearly. Yeah. So I don't know, but this might have a more powerful magnet. On the older one, this one, it's got a chunkier magnet, so it's a bit thicker. And if we just have a look at the Pro X, because it does look like the Pro X, but I think that's a different magnet to the Pro X. There you go, so that's the Pro X one there. So yeah, again, different magnet. Just about picks up. I think this is lighter. It's a little bit, yeah, that's heavier. It's got a bigger magnet, so it's got more to lift. Don't know, it might just be that you're not actually touching the magnet. This might just be a bit of steel over the top of the magnet, whereas that is actually the magnet. Anyway, potentially, well, it's a smaller diameter magnet, but thicker. It looks a bit smaller in diameter to the Pro X one. Similar kind of size. Yeah, so there you go. So it's completely new driver on the Mark II version, which is quite interesting. So they've had a complete redo. I thought it might just be a tuned version of these, but no, it is a new driver that's in those. So that's the driver there. Let's just have a quick look inside here, see if there's anything weird going on with the headband. So some T10 screws to undo that. But yeah, again, still proper, legit, professional kit this, where it's all repairable. You can pull everything apart. That's really, you know, get replacement parts. If you go to Polar Audio's website, you can buy most of the parts, but the headbands are all pretty similar across the range of the older ones, so this will fit a 990 or a DT770 headband if needs be. This all looks the same as it did on the older one. So yeah, so it's got the good clicker with a little Teflon ball in there held in with a spring, so it doesn't scrape off the coating of this. It's not a metal on metal, or some of the Beyerdynamic ones have got, like the cheaper ones have just got a plastic piece. They don't have the spring and the Teflon ball, so it gradually wears away over time. But no, that's the good one of those. And you can see on the 1770 and 1990, this thing was the same, and this gives it a bit, how it extends into the headband gives it a bit more support, because I don't know if you've seen some of the 770s and 990s can tend to crack around this area just because of the force that's on there, so having a longer one there probably distributes the force a bit better, stopping it from cracking down at the bottom here. So yes, overall, like, still the same Beyerdynamic quality. They've just updated the driver, updated the pad to make it more comfortable, updated this disc, which I think was just plain foam on the other ones, with one of these that's going to reduce the treble a little bit. Right, I suppose I better get it back together and have a listen. So I've had a good listen, and they're nice. Yeah, I think they're like £400 or £500, so you'd expect them to be quite nice. The treble isn't as harsh as it used to be on the old, like, I'm working from memory, it's been a little while since I've listened to the 1770, but yeah, I do remember the treble peak being quite prominent on them, and it is less so on these, so the treble's smoothed out a little bit. But I've also noticed that the bass doesn't seem to drop as low. I remember being quite surprised by the very low, like around 20 Hertz. I think it had a bit more punch at the very low end on the older 1770. So not as much sub bass on these, not as much trebles, kind of a flatter response. In some ways a little bit more like the HD 600, you know, where you haven't got a huge amount of sub bass, but you've got kind of really nice sweet mids with lots of detail and texture and stuff. So yeah, so again, a nice headphone. And I think, yes, maybe people have got a bit bored of the very bright treble on some of the Beyers, and this is the new direction they're heading in, where they're smoothing that off. Yeah, so it's quite interesting. Yeah, I don't know which one I prefer, the old one or the new one, but this one I think is going to be less fatiguing with the treble, but I'd probably like a little bit more bass. I did try it with these pads, which I thought would give you a little bit, and they do give you a little bit more, just a tiny bit more bass, but not a lot, which is quite surprising. So I would have thought a leather pad would increase the bass levels slightly. But it might just be me, you know. It's been a long time since I've listened to them, but I feel that these don't have quite as much sub bass as the old one. That could be because of the bigger, chunkier magnet on this one, just able to do those low frequencies a little bit better. But yeah, the treble used to be quite harsh on the older one. So, you know, yeah. Beyerdynamic giveth and Beyerdynamic taketh away. But don't trust me on the sound side of it. I've seen the frequency responses that other people have printed off, and they do look pretty similar to that old one, but with slightly smoother treble. So yeah, I'd probably check out some other reviews for the sound. This is purely just looking at the way they're built and what changes they made. So I hope that was vaguely informative. So now you can see what the difference between the Mark 1 and the Mark II is on the Beyerdynamics. And yeah, it's been super awesome hanging out with you guys, and I will see you guys again.